Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the stream. It is 7:51 p.m. here in Florida, and this is probably going to be a short one, a short 30-minute live stream. We're not going to go too long tonight. Got some catching up to do. I just got back in town 2 days ago. Worked yesterday. Just got back in town from like a 5-6 day cabin trip with the family. So it was nice and relaxing, you know, being off the grid a little bit, doing a bunch of hiking, hanging out in the cabin. So, yeah, I'm back. I have not watched the latest Last of Us episode. I have not watched the latest Mandalorian episode. I don't care if you guys want to talk about the Mandalorian episode. I'm more worried about the Last of Us spoilers. So, you know, if you would be so kind as to not discuss it. But yeah, man, what's going on with you guys? What's up? Let's shoot the shit. Whatever you guys want to talk about. There's no topic of conversation tonight. I got my my Nalgene filled with 32 ounces of water, and I got 3 fingers of some honey whiskey after a shift. So it's always nice. Yeah, man. SW verse, Star Wars verse. It was great. It was good. Yeah, it was awesome. Cabin trips are my favorite, so it's a nice little mental reset. You know, we had a beautiful view. Go follow me on Instagram. You'll see the view that we had, like right outside of our the balcony on the second floor of this cabin. I just sat up there drinking coffee, having some beers, and playing with the kid, and it was awesome, man. But anyway, the Dark Lord Revan, thank you so much for the first super chat and channel support. I greatly appreciate that. Dark Lord says, I have found that not staying up or waking early to watch shows ASAP and watching them when I want, I enjoy them more. I'm completely with you. You know, Star Wars verse. Oh, perfect. Okay. Dark Lord, I'm completely with you. Just because I have this channel, I used to, like, I think mostly with the first season of The Mandalorian, like, I would watch it. I would wake up super early. I'd wake up like 4:30, watch the episode, and have a video done by like 8 in the morning, right? And it was just, yeah, I mean, maybe you get more views, maybe blah, 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 blah. But the enjoyment factor, when you're like hustling and bustling to make a video, when you feel like the YouTube rat race to be first, you got to be first to upload some kind of reaction to an episode, right? Yeah, maybe in my my younger YouTube year, not younger in terms of age, but like younger in terms of channel, you know. Maybe back like 5 years ago or whatever, I would do that. Nowadays, I don't give a shit. What, I'm gonna be first? I gotta wake up and watch an episode of a show. I gotta be first. I gotta talk about it first. People want to know what I have to say. I gotta talk about it first. No, stupid. I'm gonna watch it on my own speed, my own leisure. I'm gonna enjoy myself. No pressure. Be healthy with this goddamn YouTube thing, right? But beyond YouTube, I'm even as just a viewer, you know, even if I didn't take this channel into account, I'm the same way, Dark Lord. Like, you know, when a new episode of a show that we're watching comes out, you know, most of the time I would say that, you know, we sit down for the evening and watch it. But we kind of take our time, you know, especially with my schedule. I worked yesterday, so we didn't get to watch the latest episode of The Mandalorian together, right? Me and my wife. So we're going to watch it we'll probably watch it tomorrow night. But yeah. Anyway, Dark Lord, cheers, man. I appreciate the hell out of that. Demetrio says, hello, HG, good evening to you. It's 1:51 a.m. here in Greece, so time to go to bed. Just here to say hello there. Cheers, man. Yeah, get some sleep. It's deep in the late for you. How would you feel about McClunky with Han shooting first? Saad Ahmed. I don't Like, I don't care. How do I put this? The only version that I want is the original version. That's not like geeky nitpicking. That's not bitching and moaning. It's just, that's the Star Wars that I grew up with. That fans of my generation and older grew up with. That's my Star Wars, right? The more you tinker and toy with it, the less and less it becomes recognizable. So even if they had Han shooting first, but still had McClunky in there, and it just, I don't know, I don't understand. I don't understand why toy with it, It goes beyond. I wouldn't mind them tinkering and toying with it, Lucas or Disney or whatever, whoever, as long as the original versions remained watchable in a modern viewing format, But, yeah, anyway. Star Wars Verse, thank you so much for becoming the latest member of the fleet. I greatly appreciate that, man. I appreciate the support on a monthly basis. If you're into Discord, check out the link in the live stream description. You can link your YouTube account with your Discord account, and you get like a special role in the HelloGreedo Discord server. But yeah, man, I appreciate the hell out of that support. If everybody could do me a favor in the chat and say welcome to the fleet, I would appreciate that. Anyway, cheers, man. Welcome to the fleet. The fleet is what I don't know if you could tell. The fleet is what I call channel subscribers, channel members, rather. Welcome to the fleet. McClunky is hilarious. It's funny because it's terrible. Yeah, it's terrible. They're all, I mean, it's weird to me. Whenever you bring up Han shot first, well, I guess I shouldn't say that it's weird because it's the internet, right? If you say anything negative or positive about Star Wars, no matter what you say Twitter's the best example. You're just going to get dogpiled from whatever side, right? If I posted the most minor nothing criticism of the Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett and how Yoda was reunited in a completely different show, it was just a little criticism like, hey, maybe this is kind of dumb, and maybe it wasn't the smartest decision. It was just a very tame complaint, a very tame like, hey, some people might be kind of confused why they left off on the second season and now they're watching the third season, and that reunion, what the hell? And I just got dogpiled and like made fun of by a bunch of Star Wars people on Twitter. Oh, you gotta watch it all. Okay, man, most people don't do that. Most average regular viewers aren't bogged down in these fan bubbles. Even if you post like the minorest criticism of a very valid criticism, you're just gonna get shit on. And even when I post Han shot first, that same exact thing happens. But I think people just don't understand. Just don't understand the argument or what it represents, right? Maybe they're not familiar with all the versions or how the originals used to be. Anyway. Ricky Dicky Duda Grimes, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support. Ricky says, good evening, Greedo. I have a question. Is there any changes Lucas has made to the OT that you do agree with? I will always like the original versions more just because it's what I grew up with. It's the Star Wars that I grew up with. It's what the world first saw, and I think they should be preserved for modern viewing formats. But there are changes that I appreciate, or that I see the the value in, right? Like, for example, some new X-Wing shots and dogfighting sequences in the Death Star battle kind of add a kinetic energy, to it all. I can appreciate the Cloud City, despite them kind of looking wonky if you watch them today, the Cloud City windows and that kind of stuff. Those two are really the only, I guess you would call them changes, that I don't absolutely just dislike, you know? Yeah. Oh my God, why is my daughter screaming? My wife's doing bedtime. She just does not go to bed easily these days, especially with time change. Yeah. But yeah, so those two, Ricky, those two are the only ones that I can kind of get behind, and I kind of appreciate them, you know. But other than that, man, there's not much else that I like, changes wise. Yeah, really. Yeah. Oh, the Outrider edition in A New Hope, Starwave. Yeah, it's that entire like coming into Tatooine sequence. It's kind of funny if you watch it today. There's one of my favorite moments in that is a shot. I think it's kind of like I'll have to post it on Twitter or something like that. It's a shot of like down a street, and you see 4 stormtroopers, 2 on each side of the road. And they are identical. These two stormtrooper, these two groups are identical to one another. And well, give me 1 second, guys. Give me one. Oh, I'll finish my thought. They're identical to one another. They're a mirror image. So it's like they took these 2 CGI stormtroopers, they copied and pasted them. They did a like a horizontal flip, and they just put them on the opposite side of the road. So like they move exactly the same. They're pretty goofy. They're pretty goofy. But hey, I'll be right back, guys. I gotta go check on something really fast. 1 second, guys. All right. Can you hear me? All right, we're back. Sorry about that. All right. Let's see. What is everybody talking about? I like that. Sorry, I'm catching up with the chat here. I was gone for like 5 minutes. I apologize, guys. These tunes slap. Yeah, I like all the music that is on my streaming playlist. I feel like I've used the same music for like 5 years. I need to find some new stuff. But yeah. What's up, Cole? The trip was great. It flew by, which is a bummer. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was relaxing. We did at least one hike every single day for the 4 days we were there. And I thought my daughter was gonna love hiking, man. I thought she was gonna love it, but I ended up like we have a 4-year-old, so it's not like we can do crazy long hikes. The longest one that we did was 2 miles there and back. I mean, that's pretty much all we could do with a 4-year-old. But she, as soon as we got on the trail, she like just wanted me to carry her. So I was like, come on, just try to walk. Just try. So I ended up doing pretty much every single hike that we did with her on my shoulders. With her just sitting on my shoulders, and I'm walking in the woods with her on my shoulders. Which, I mean, she enjoyed that, right? It was a good hamstring quad workout, but I was just really surprised because all she likes to do is run and jump and stuff like that, and I thought she would just love to run and jump on the trails, but nah, she didn't really care for it. Yeah, you're right, Cole. In a few years, but your name actually came up when me and my wife were sitting on the couch, and my daughter was in bed at the cabin, and we started talking about what we wanted to do next year for our 10-year wedding anniversary. And we were saying, for our 5-year wedding anniversary, we went to it was our 3-year wedding anniversary. Was it? Yeah, 2017. We went to, Utah and did the Utah Mighty 5, and we wanted to do something similar to that next year. So, I mentioned to you that we want to go to Yellowstone, and we started really researching it and kind of figuring out kind of a game plan of what we want to do, and your name came up, and I told my wife about you, and said I'd probably reach out to you at some point just to kind of get a feel for what we should do, what you think, when we should go. But yeah, man, we were thinking April, May. I don't know if that'd be too cold. I did see that like the best time to go weather-wise is like June to October, but that might not be doable for us. April or May would be the best time for us, and I don't know if that would just kind of be miserable, but I mean, we don't care about too much comfort. We're not the type of people to drive to a parking lot, park, and look over the canyon and go, saw that, and get back in the car and drive away. But. Brian Williams, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support, man. I apologize. I almost, I didn't hear the notification there. Brian says, is it me or did they kind of project with this episode that the entire purpose of the series is to justify Snoke's existence? Interesting. I don't care if you guys talk about this because as this title of the stream suggests, I have not watched the latest episode of The Mandalorian, and I don't mind if you guys talk about it because I'm not worried about spoilers. It is what it is. I'm late to the party. I was out of town. But that's interesting. I have not heard this yet about the latest episode. Is Snoke a part of it, or the cloning aspect a part of it? That's fascinating, Brian. You've piqued my interest. I don't know if it's a good interest or a bad interest. Like one of my least favorite moments in any Star Wars movie ever is in Rise of Skywalker when we see a bunch of Snokes in the vats, and I just sank into my chair and I disappeared into nothingness. So I'm curious. Cloning aspect. Okay, it's an offhand comment. Largely focuses on the doctor who wanted to clone Grogu. Gotcha. I see. Interesting. I see the angle. I see the direction. But, all right, Brian. I appreciate that, man. We'll have this conversation once I've seen it, I'm sure. Yeah, I was out of town for like 6 days, and I missed The Last of Us latest episode, and I have not watched The Mandalorian latest episode, so I'm a little behind right now. Yeah. A little behind. April gets a ton of snow still. May can be great. All right. Yeah, yeah, May is kind of would be the best time for us to go. We're thinking of just, I mean, this is just kind of bare bones ideas. We're thinking of going to Grand Tetons first, like flying into Jackson Hole, going to Grand Tetons, and then going to Yellowstone. And as soon as we thought of that plan, I looked on the map, and like the main vein, the main road that runs through Grand Tetons into Yellowstone, like into the middle of Yellowstone, was closed. So I was like, oh shit. Maybe that's not really doable in March and April, you know. But unless you get lucky, I suppose. It just feels like there are some strong hints. My bad, dude. Sorry, I missed that you hadn't seen it. Oh, no. It's my fault. I don't, dude, don't worry about it, Brian. I don't worry about it. You shouldn't worry about it. Like, I don't care about spoilers. Like, especially, what is today? It's Thursday. Well, I would have watched it. I worked yesterday, so I didn't have a chance to watch it. So, and it's my fault. You know, I can't expect to be doing a live stream, a Star Wars live stream on a Star Wars YouTube channel. I can't expect to not have, you know, things thrown at me about the latest episode of a show. I wish they would change it's my fault, right? Wrong salutes in Star Wars. Being a sailor, it annoys me when actors can't salute properly in Hollywood. But that's just a small pet peeve of mine. Ha ha. That's funny, Brock. Give me one sec, man. But yeah, Brian, don't worry about it. It's my own damn fault. But cheers, man. I appreciate the channel support. Brock Lynch, thank you so much. This is funny because this is a little pet peeve of mine as well. Brock says, speaking of change, I wish they would change any wrong salutes in Star Wars. Being a sailor, it annoys me when actors can't salute properly in Hollywood, but that's just a small pet peeve of mine. Haha. Yeah, it doesn't really bother me that much in Star Wars because it's, you know, it's goofy and it's different, right? But it is weird to me that, and I'm sure this is, you're not alone, Brock, I'm thinking this. I'm sure every service member has seen something like that in a movie or a show, salute wise, and just been like, what in the hell? They didn't, their military coordinator or somebody that were working with them didn't kind of address this. It happens all the times in war movies or military movies, and not only like a poor salute, but a lot of the times you'll see characters salute indoors without a cover on, right? So for those of you who don't know, you're only supposed to salute when you have a cover, a hat on. You don't salute indoors without a cover on. So like whenever you see a military movie or something like that and somebody walks in and nobody has a hat on, nobody has a cover on, and everybody salutes, that doesn't happen. You only salute if people have hats on, if they have covers on. Yeah, it's stupid, right? It's a stupid whatever thing, but like when I see that in a movie, I'm like, that's not how it works. That's not real. That's not how it works. Nobody does that. It's weird, but yeah, Brock, I'm with you, man. It's a pet peeve of mine as well. You pour so much money into the accuracy of so many things in these like war movies, right? And such a small, I guess a seemingly small detail, like a salute, that maybe you don't even think about. It's so poorly executed, and anybody that knows anything about saluting, immediately stands out to you. But yeah, the ones when they salute out of uniform drives me the most. Yeah. Nobody, yeah, wearing some jorts and a polo. Captain. So yeah, stupid. Anyway, Brock, that's funny, man. I appreciate that. Cheers. Salute. In my PJs. Evans Media, thank you so much as well. Evan says, just got the Indiana Jones 4K box set and was wondering what your favorite Blu-rays are. I'm pretty new to it. Most of my movies are on a hard drive. Oh, so I didn't know they had a 4K box set. Let me look this up. Indiana Jones 4K box set. Ah, cool. Does it come with the 4 currently released? That's fun. Can you buy them individually? Indiana Jones, let's see. Indiana Jones 4K. Can you buy them individually or do you have to get the box set? Okay, you can buy them individually. Sweet. Anyway. That's cool, man. I didn't know they had a Indiana Jones 4K box set. I like that. $63 on sale. That's not too bad for collectors, things that are into that, right? So I don't really buy physical media that much. I'm trying to think the last physical movie that I bought was. Oh man. The last physical movie that I bought might be First Man. The Ryan Gosling, Neil Armstrong movie. I think that might be the last 4K physical thing. I'm racking my brain right now. I apologize. But yeah, I really only buy physical copies of like my favorite movies. So I have like one of my favorite Blu-rays, one of my favorite 4Ks is Apollo 13. It's also one of my favorite movies of all time, so yeah, that might be my all-time favorite Blu-ray that I have. I think it just looks so beautiful. It's the one that stands out to me the most. I'm trying to think if I have like, let's see, 127 hours 4K. I don't think that's out in 4K, is it? No. There's certain movies that I would, if like it came out on 4K, I would buy them. Like 127 hours, right? That movie is not available on 4K, but if it came out on 4K, I would buy it just because it's one of my favorite movies of all time, you know? So all the movies that I have, like Jaws, I have on 4K. It's beautiful. I had to buy it as soon as it came out in 4K. I had to, even though I've only watched it once for whatever reason. I had to, right? So yeah, I'm trying to think what other I have, like The Right Stuff on Blu-ray. Basically, like my favorite 10 movies of all time I have on Blu-ray or 4K. And I own a couple random other Blu-rays or 4Ks, like Logan or Mad Max Fury Road, The Martian. I own all 3 of those on 4K because I bought those like right when I bought my Xbox One S 4K Blu-ray player. So I just wanted to test it out, you know. But yeah, man. Yeah, my favorite movies are really the only ones that I buy physically. I don't buy a lot of stuff, and I don't even have them displayed. I don't even have them out and about,
Hey,
Evans.
HG.
Oh, one sec.
I'm not gonna give any details of the latest Mando S3 EP, but I still can't give over the fact I preferred the last 2 Bad Batch episodes over the first 2 Mando S3 episodes and found them much more engaging.
Mr. Nick, Darth Nicholas, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support this evening, man. Give me one sec. But yeah, Evans, I don't have them on display. I don't have them on a shelf or anything. They're literally in like a plastic bin in the guest room. Maybe I'll start like rotating one on a shelf every once in a while. I don't like a lot of clutter. So like, maybe I'll display a different one every month or something like that on a shelf in my room, my office. Anyway. Jedi Master Troy, Andrew Rodriguez, and Darth Nicholas, thank you guys so much for the channel supports this evening. Jedi Master Troy says, hey HD, what was something that was spoiled for you that ruined your movie TV experience? Just in general? Oh man. So a couple come to mind. I don't really care about getting spoiled with TV stuff for whatever reason. Like now if I did get spoiled with like Luke coming back in The Mandalorian, like moments like that, I think I would have been like, ah, damn it, I wish I could have experienced that in the moment. Or spoiled with Grogu being like Baby Yoda in the first episode of The Mandalorian, right? If I knew that was coming, it would have been a bummer, but I experienced it firsthand watching it, right? So, but there are a couple moments that are memorable for me. So like, and one I did to myself. Well, I guess both I did to myself. In 1999, I had the young adult or the young adult novelization of The Phantom Menace, which came out a couple months before the movie. And I read that. I got it at a book fair and I read it in its entirety. So I knew everything that was going to happen going into The Phantom Menace, before I ever saw the movie because the book came out first. Also, I had the soundtrack before the movie came out. So there was like, titles of like the songs on that soundtrack are Qui-Gon's funeral and things like that. So you know what's going to happen based off of the book you just read and the album, the soundtrack that you bought as well before you even see the damn movie. Another one is The Force Awakens. I think we all kind of knew that Han was going to die in The Force Awakens. It was one of my predictions, just because that had been, Harrison Ford wanted Han to kind of die and sacrifice himself in Return of the Jedi. Didn't happen, of course. So I think going into The Force Awakens, I and so many other people kind of suspected that Han would die somehow in that movie. Now, I was just scrolling along the internet like an idiot the day that The Force Awakens came out. Like a goddamn idiot. I was just ping-ponging on the internet without a care in the world. And then, I don't remember where I saw it. It might have been on, I don't think it was on Twitter. It might have been on Reddit. Which I know, I never go on Reddit. Why was on Reddit this day? Anyway. I saw somebody took a picture of their movie theater, and it was the moment where Kylo Ren's blade goes into Han, and I saw that picture, and I immediately closed out my browser, and I was like, God damn it, why didn't I just do a bunch of chores around the house instead of having to get on my computer? So I got that spoiled for me too. But yeah, other than that, man, those are the only two that come to mind. Most of the time, when something's coming out, I just avoid the internet. I don't really do much on social media as it is. And so when something new is coming out, I usually just kind of take a step back and yeah. Anyway. The internet before / during The Force Awakens was literally terrifying because of that HD. Yeah, man. I remember I was telling people I was going to go dark 48 hours before and not go on the internet at all, not blah 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 blah. And what happened? Yeah, I went on the internet. I purposefully didn't look at my mentions or anything like that on Twitter, but somehow it found me. Anyway, I appreciate that, Troy. Andrew Rodriguez, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support. Let's see. There we go. Andrew says, speaking of spoilers, The Empire Strikes Back was spoiled for me when I first saw it. I already knew about Luke and Vader's relation before the lightsaber duel. Andrew, that I think is forever and ever going to be spoiled for future generations. It's just a part of culture, right? Luke and Vader's relationship. Vader being Luke's dad, right? It's just it almost goes beyond the franchise. It goes into deep-seated culture, right? It goes beyond the movies. And it's people who have never seen Star Wars know that Vader is Luke's dad, right? I think that's one that's just kind of impossible to avoid, Andrew, because I'm sure I've told my daughter, and she's never watched the movies, but I'm sure I've told my daughter, when we're going through my old action figures or, we've had conversations about Star Wars, I'm sure I've told her that Vader is Luke's dad, not thinking that I'm spoiling anything, right? But just talking about Star Wars. It's interesting. I hadn't really thought about that. I probably have spoiled it for her. But yeah, that's one that I think that's hard to avoid. That's just kind of a part of us, right, Andrew? It's just a part of culture. It's a part of it's just it's in the DNA of the culture now. Kind of like how we all know what Jabba the Hutt is, what he looks like, right? Back in the day, in 1977 or until 1983, nobody knew what Jabba the Hutt looked like. Nobody knew what Jabba the Hutt looked like until 1983, when Return of the Jedi came out. So people had to wait through A New Hope when Jabba is mentioned, The Empire Strikes Back where Jabba is mentioned, and then they don't see this character until Return of the Jedi, which was cool. It was kind of like a cool long game to introduce this character, this crime lord, right? Now, obviously, they ruined it with the CGI Jabba in A New Hope, because that mystery is just immediately killed in that additional scene that was added for the special editions. Is stupid. I liked that mystery, but even without that, people know who Jabba the Hutt is, what Jabba the Hutt looks like, right? So that kind of 3-film mystery is dead for future generations, right? But Jabba was a big fat human originally and a generic alien in one of the earliest comics. Yep. Yeah, I can't remember who played. If somebody mentions the name to me, I would immediately get it. Weird. Okay, golly, I thought something. I looked down at my microphone wire, and I thought something was burning through it. It looked super weird with the lighting. It looked like melted wire, but it was just the lighting in my room. I've never seen that before. Anyway. Yeah. Anyway, Andrew, I appreciate that, man. And Darth Nicholas, thank you so much for the generous super chat and channel support. I greatly appreciate that. Nick says, hey, HG, I'm not going to give any details of the latest Mando Season 3 episode, but I still can't get over the fact that I prefer the last 2 Bad Batch episodes over the first 2 Mando Season 3 episodes and found them much more engaging. You are not alone in thinking that. I have heard more or seen more chit-chat on Twitter, on the Star Wars sphere of Twitter that I follow. I've seen more chatter about the Bad Batch than I have the Mandalorian. That's saying something, man. Tells me that I need to watch the goddamn show. Yeah, so I don't think you're alone. It's kind of surprising. I mean, I'm sure I just don't pay much attention to it that much. But like, I feel like when I'm looking right now, I feel like when I'm scrolling, I see more Bad Batch stuff on here. Interesting. Yeah. I need to watch it, Darth. I need to watch it. I haven't seen a single episode of Bad Batch, Season 1 or Season 2. I don't know why. It's weird, man. I don't have the same pull. I don't have the same desire to like jump into animated Star Wars as I do with live action. I don't know why. I really don't know. I watched all of the Clone Wars. I still haven't finished Rebels. The only reason that I watched all of the Clone Wars because of peer pressure. Like, every time I would stream, this was in like 2017. Every time I would stream, like, the same people would just hop on and dog me and tell me to watch the Clone Wars. And I'd be like, I don't have the time. I'm not really into it, blah, 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 blah. And then I started watching it, and it was fun. And I kind of got into a routine where I would watch the episodes. And so from 2017 until when was the latest this season? It's Clone Wars season. 2020? 2019? Clone Wars season 7. Season 7, 2020. Okay, 2020. So, yeah, from 2017 rather, to 2020. 3 years I watched the Clone Wars. It took me 3 years to watch it. That's how, it's hard to find the goddamn time. Especially I had a kid in that time, and it's hard to, but yeah, I don't know why, man. I just don't. And I've heard they're often, exactly. Nick said animated Star Wars often rivals live action Star Wars. Nailed it. And unfortunately, I don't know, there's some mental block. There's some hump that I need to get over. For whatever reason, I don't have the same pull and desire to watch them, Nick. I don't know why. Maybe one day what I really need to do is like bring my laptop to the fire station with some headphones, and at bedtime I need to like put a headphone, like with just one of my headphones in, watch an episode a night until I catch up, Maybe that's what I'll start doing. That's not a bad idea. I know what's going to happen though. As soon as I put my headphones in, we're going to get a call. And then when we get back from that call, I'm going to try to finish the episode, and we're going to get another call. That's how it goes. Whenever you want to like sit down and read or watch something or work on something at the fire station, you just immediately get a call. Like every time we do some training, like we'll have a ton of stuff out in the bay. Like we'll break down the truck. We might be building like rope systems, like rescue systems. We might be, I don't know, just doing a bunch of training in the bay, no matter, as soon as we start training, we get a call. Like, inevitably. We won't have a call all day, and as soon as we start training, boop, boop, we get a call every single time. That's what would happen if I tried to watch The Bad Batch. Anyway, cheers, Mr. Nick. Maybe I'll start doing that. I need to watch it. Because again, I've heard more about that than The Mandalorian. Yeah, anyway. Oscar Rodriguez, good to see you. Oscar says, what's weird about the special edition is that Han steps on Jabba's tail, disrespecting him in front of his own men, yet in Return of the Jedi, Han gets scared hearing his laugh. Oh, yeah. That is interesting. It's they turned it into like a weird comedic moment in A New Hope. And there is some fear. There is some... I'd never really thought about that, Oscar. Doesn't really click. Doesn't really jive, right? But you've reminded me of one of probably my least favorite special edition change. Jabba in the hangar. For multiple reasons, it just looks like shit. And whenever Han steps on Jabba's tail, it's like... Watch it today. Watch like the Blu-ray version. And just watch how bad it looks. Especially, like, focus on Han. Watch Han, quote unquote, step on Jabba's tail. It looks so bad. And I understand it was, a long time ago now. Jeez. Special editions were a long time ago. 25 years or something like that. Jesus. More than that? 97? Golly. But it looks bad. Yeah. I'd never really put two and two together, Oscar. That's very true. I think that is my least favorite change. You know why? I just realized Jabba has come up so often in this live stream. It just dawned on me that I made that the thumbnail of this live stream. Oh. Anyway. Yeah, it's my least favorite special edition change for multiple reasons. I've touched on a few this stream, but for one, I think it looks bad, and B, it kills the mystery of who Jabba is. I've talked about this ad nauseum, so I apologize. But hey, man, HelloGreedo started as knocking the special editions just because we didn't have modern versions of the original versions, right? It kills the mystery, right? In the past, you had to wait until the third film to know who Jabba the Hutt was and what he looked like. You just heard his name in A New Hope. You heard his name in The Empire Strikes Back, and you had to wait 3 films to see him. But now it's just the mystery is spoiled. It's killed in the very first movie in some hodgepodge of a CGI scene that is kind of redundant and doesn't need to be there, right? It is what it is, right? I would not care one bit if we had the original versions in 4K or Blu-ray, I wouldn't care at all.
Star Trek Enterprise and enjoying it. I'm on season 4 now.
Cam Skywalker, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support. I'm going to say final super chat and channel support of the stream. I said I was going to go for 30 minutes, and we're at an hour. Like 10 minutes of it was spent. I had to go to my daughter's room really quick. She was crying, so I had to go check. But Cam Skywalker, thanks, man, for the final super chat of the stream. Cam says, haven't watched Mando's latest episodes, but have been watching Star Trek Enterprise and enjoying it. I'm on season 4 now. So Enterprise is... I'm not. So the only Star Trek that I've ever really watched religiously was The Next Generation. Cam, that's the only one that I've seen every episode. That's the one that I, if I have some time to kill and I have nothing going on around the house or nothing to do, I will fire up an episode of The Next Generation. Enterprise is one that I can't tell you if I've ever seen an episode of Enterprise, to tell you the truth, Cam. Like, I've seen a few episodes of Voyager. I've seen a couple episodes of Deep Space Nine. But I don't think I've ever seen a single episode of Enterprise. And I'm looking at it right now, I don't even know what the general consensus of the show is. If it's any good or not. Star Trek Voyager, Star Trek Deep Space Nine. I think, so if I was to watch another Star Trek series, Cam, because again, Next Generation is my Star Trek, but if I was to watch another series, I think I would go with the entirety of Deep Space Nine for whatever reason. It's the one that my friends who are way more into Star Trek than I've ever been recommend to me and say that I would like the most. So, yeah, maybe I would check that out. But what do you think, Cam? Do you like? Yeah. I know which one it is, Cam, but I don't think I've ever seen a single episode of it, to tell you the truth. What do you think of it so far? Do you like it? Obviously, you're on season 4 now, so it has some staying power with you. You must like it. Sorry guys, I'm reading little reviews of Star Trek Enterprise. I didn't even know the story behind it, to tell you the truth. It said, set in the mid-22nd century, over 100 years before James T. Kirk helmed the famous vessel. This installment of the Star Trek franchise is set on the Enterprise NX-01, the first Earth starship capable of Warp 5, and explores the history of the interplanetary upheaval that eventually leads to the formation of the Federation. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, I appreciate that, Cam. Maybe I'll start watching Deep Space Nine. Anyway, I appreciate that, man. Cheers. Yeah, don't. There's no rush. This latest season so far, at least, has been all right for me. And I'm not one to like rush and need to watch the latest episodes as soon as they come out, you know? But, yeah. Anyway. I appreciate that, Cam. All right, Darth Nicholas, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support. Final super chat and channel support of the stream before I get out of here and watch the latest episode of The Last of Us, which we have not watched because we were out of town when it came out. Let's see. All right. Mr. Darth Nicholas says, I was just on Star Wars Explain's live stream asking them about their most disliked special edition changes, and Alex, Molly, and I all agree that it's Greedo shooting How to Ruin a Character Arc 101. Yeah, it's I agree. It's one of the worst. Well, it's the first one that really made you go, oh, they changed more. That they didn't just add a little kind of like enhanced the graphic. They didn't just kind of like make the colors pop a little more. They didn't change subtle things. Oh, they massively changed scenes. I I would tend to agree that it's while it's not my least favorite, it is, I think it's the most important in terms of that's the change that, because it wasn't an addition. It wasn't like Jabba in the hangar, right? That's just a dumb addition. The Greedo shooting at all change was the change that kind of put the argument on the face of like, should we preserve these movies? Well, I mean, what's going to happen in the future? Are the original versions just going to melt away and die in the ash heap of history? It kind of like, that's why the Han shot first thing isn't. To me, it's not a geeky nitpicking slogan. Han shot first represents kind of film preservation. It represents a philosophical argument, not about internal events in the film, but about external events surrounding the film and surrounding, tinkering and toying with something that, I don't know, should be preserved, Yeah. So while it's not my least favorite change, which might sound kind of weird, it is the most important change. Yeah. But anyway, Nick, I appreciate that, man. That would be a really fun live stream to do with them. I would love to. Man, I need to do a podcast or something like that. I'd like have somebody on. There's here Star Wars comparison. So if you don't follow Star Wars VizComp, I'm gonna post it on in the chat right now. Go follow him on Twitter. He's a really good follow. Twitter follow, because he knows so much about the special editions and the changes and all that kind of stuff, and he's just if you don't follow him already, follow him. But anyway, this isn't a podcast. Yeah, it might as well be, right? I bring him up because I've always wanted to have a conversation with him, so maybe I will invite Drew and Greg, the two people run this account. Maybe I'll invite them on and have a conversation. Anyway, all right, guys, I gotta go. I appreciate everybody hanging out with me this evening. I will probably, I don't know if I'll do a live stream tomorrow night. We'll see. If I don't do one tomorrow night, what is today? So Friday. If I don't do one tomorrow night, I will do one Sunday night. How about that? I will do one Sunday night. But all right, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your morning, your afternoon, your evening, wherever you are on planet Earth. Thanks for tuning in. All the super chatters out there, I appreciate the hell out of that support. And I'll catch you on the flip side. See ya.